We would like you to know this video is being produced in accordance with CDC guidelines. Though you will see speakers on camera without face masks, we are maintaining significant social distance, prioritizing the safety of our speakers and crew. Greetings. My name is Donald Odom Sr., and I serve as a board member on the African American Advisory Committee. Before we officially begin our program, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening. Obviously, circumstances have required that we gather virtually this year. However, we are grateful that you have joined us to honor our scholarship and award recipients. It is because of your support that we are able to celebrate excellence. I'd also like to thank our amazing sponsors. The 2021 Kente Awards and Scholarship Ceremony is presented by Amgen, our title sponsor. Thank you, Amgen. We also would like to thank our gold sponsor, the Florida Lottery. Our green sponsors are Mosaic, WUSF, Onyx Magazine, and USF Foundation Diversity and Initiative Scholarship Office. Our silver sponsors are the USF Alumni Association, Rooms to Go Foundation, the USF College of Arts and Sciences, USF Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Equal Opportunity, and USF Foundation Office of Gift Planning. Our bronze sponsors are CoreMed, Joyce Russell, Sharon Thompson Ayers, Dr. Judy Genschaft, and yours truly. Thank you for your dedication and support for this year's 2021 Kente Awards and Scholarship Ceremony. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our MC for the evening, Mr. Rod Carter. Rod is an award-winning journalist who currently serves as an anchor and reporter on WFLA News Channel 8. He's a past president of the Tampa Bay Association of Black Journalists and presently serves on the board of the National Association of Black Journalists as Region 3 Director. In this role, he supervises dozens of professional and student chapters across several states. Outside journalism, Rod is a life member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated and charter member of the Sigma Xi Sigma chapter in Tampa. He attended and graduated from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee and graciously volunteers as a host, moderator, speaker for hundreds of community events throughout Tampa Bay and the state of Florida. Everyone, please help me welcome to the stage Mr. Rod Carter.
Don, thank you very much, and welcome to the 2021 Kente Awards and Scholarship Program presented by Amgen. It is so good to be celebrating Black excellence this evening, and we are very honored to highlight the achievements of our USF students, the generosity of our donors, and of course the outstanding contributions of our Kente Award winners, Justice Peggy Quint and the late Mr. Vincent Jackson. Additionally, it's my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker this evening, Ms. Jewel Burks Solomon. We'd also like to recognize this year's celebration committee. This event is a labor of love and a collaboration among various campus and community partners. It's a great event, and I'm so glad you're all here tonight with us. So please join me in recognizing our 2021 Kente Ceremony Committee members. The African American Advisory Committee, USF Black Faculty Staff Association, USF College of Arts and Sciences, USF Foundation, USF Institute on Black Life, Ruth and Jerry Bell, Camille Blake, and Lainey Funaro. Thank you all for what you've done tonight. All right, now, as previously mentioned, public precautions have necessitated that we host this year's ceremony as a virtual event. I know a lot of us have done these over the past few months, actually over the past year. However, we invite you to explore and take selfies with your cell phone. Grab your phone, get that ready, and use some of the content that's provided in your Kente participant package. Feel free to share all of those photos via social media using the hashtag 2021 USF Kente Awards. All right, so in keeping with the tradition of the Kente Awards, please welcome Dr. Keturah Jenkins Hall, who's going to provide our invocation this evening.
Good evening. Today is a day of honor, and we first give honor to God, that great creator and giver of life, one whose love and power is everlasting. We acknowledge the creative spirit by whatever name we know it, whatever name you are holding in your heart or in your head, whatever names your ancestors passed on to you, whatever name you learned as a child, whatever name you believe to have power and presence now, be it Allah, Yeshua, Jehovah, or Jesus. We bow our heads to the God of our understanding. Let us pray. God of all creation, we come before you to welcome your presence in this virtual gathering. We honor you and acknowledge you as our creator and provider. It is you who are omnipresent. You are everywhere, Lord. It is you who are omnipotent. You have all power. It is you who are omniscient. You know everything, and nothing takes you by surprise. In the midst of and in spite of this pandemic, this COVID-19 season, in the midst of and in spite of heightened racial injustice or housing and economic and legal crises for some of us, we confess, as the Apostle Paul did to the Corinthians, that we are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair, persecuted, but not forsaken, cast down, but not destroyed. We thank you, O God, that there is a time for every event and purpose under heaven. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. We thank you that now is the time to heal, to build up, to laugh, to dance, and yes, even to celebrate. Hallelujah. So tonight, as we celebrate and honor those who have demonstrated academic excellence and those who make a difference in the lives of African American communities, we thank you, O God, for our esteemed ancestors who provided the wisdom by which we live and the models by which our lives are guided. They are the shoulders upon which we stand. We thank you, O God, for each conceiver, each strategic planner, each participant, each benevolent giver, and each recipient, past and present, of Kente Awards. It is indeed our prayer that you would bless us all. Let courage, strength, and determination fill our hearts, that we might not be surprised or disappointed when the world pushes back. Let us press towards purpose, being only concerned with that which honors you. Lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met thee. Lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget thee. In the words of Howard Thurman, grant us, O Lord, light for our darkness, courage for our fears, hope for our despair, peace for our turmoil, joy for our sorrow, strength for our weakness, wisdom for our confusion, forgiveness for our sins, tenderness for our toughness, love for our hates, thyself for ourselves, yourself for ourselves, your divinity for our humanity. Grant us your compassion, grant us your purpose as we build together for eternity, now, henceforth, and forevermore. We pray. Amen.
Dr. Jenkins Hall, thank you so much for those encouraging words. So it is my pleasure now to welcome the president of the University of South Florida, Dr. Stephen Corral, to provide our official USF greeting.
Good evening. I'm delighted to welcome everyone to this special event. Tonight, we celebrate the academic excellence and achievements of our Black and African American students at the University of South Florida and our Tampa Bay community leaders. The Joyce Russell Kente Awards and Scholarships are part of USF's historic commitment to honor individuals that have shown leadership in issues affecting the African American community. The program celebrates the long legacy of Black leaders and students who are not just surviving, but thriving in the face of adversity. I wish to congratulate our awardees on their outstanding contributions to our community. And I thank those who have contributed to the scholarships. Your support will change the lives of Black students by making USF financially accessible. Importantly, once our students arrive on campus, they're on a path to success. USF leads the state in Black student success metrics, and we're continuing a strong commitment being an institution where academic excellence and opportunity converge. This provides students an affordable pathway to college and helps them gain upward economic mobility. The past year has presented many great challenges, but in the battle against COVID-19, there is much hope on the horizon. In the battle against systemic racism, there is much work to be done. Through these efforts, USF has been recognized for supporting the success of first-generation students and Pell Grant recipients. We're working to increase Black student enrollment and to support a campus culture that is anti-racist and inclusive. We're actively funding research focused on issues of diversity and equity in our communities. And I'm grateful to those who support this spirit of partnership, including the Black Faculty and Staff Association, the Institute on Black Life, and the Black Employee Steering Committee, among many others. And I'm grateful to our dedicated alumni and the Black Leadership Network for their commitment to USF and the community. The leaders we celebrate tonight offer models for us to build on. They inspire us to increase understanding and actively serve our communities. We're truly all in this together. Congratulations to our awardees and thank you for your generous contributions. Enjoy the evening.
President Corral, thank you so much for those wonderful words. Knowing that education is the guiding light to overcoming any circumstance, in 1988, the Florida Lottery began funding education, including the Bright Futures Scholarship Program. So this program assists students in pursuing their post-secondary educational and career goals. Since that time, the lottery has contributed more than $5 billion to send nearly 900,000 students to college. Their students' work ethic and dedication, coupled with scholarship support, helps them all to achieve their goals. So congratulations and thank you to the Florida Lottery for all of the support that they've been able to provide. We'd now like to recognize our student scholarship recipients, so please.
Robust scholarship program that awards at least 10 scholarships each year, one of which is a study abroad scholarship. This scholarship provides the opportunity for a student at any level to receive the gift of a global experience and cultural enrichment, an initiative that USF strives to make available for all of our students. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, international travel has been restricted, which has postponed the presenting of this award this year. However, it is our hope that you will continue to support our efforts. Your contribution ensures that students will retain access to exploring global dynamics and cultural enrichments once travel limitations have been lifted. Thank you in advance for your support of our Institute on Black Life and all you do for the University of South Florida. Have a good evening.
Dr. Akiwumi, thank you so much for that. All right, I now have the distinct privilege to welcome to the podium Dr. Sheila Tribble and Mrs. Sharon Ayers Thompson to present the Dr. Israel Ike Tribble Jr. Endowed Scholarship recipient.
Thank you to the University of South Florida for creating the Dr. Israel Ike Tribble Endowed Scholarship, named in the spirit of my late husband, Dr. Ike Tribble. It is that recognition that I know that Ike would have been honored, and I am humbly honored to be standing here today to recognize the recipients of the Ike Tribble Scholarship Award. This endowed scholarship named in his honor is so befitting to him. Ike was a humanitarian, educator, community activist, and social activist. For those who knew Ike, African proverbs were a major part of his life and communication style and grounded his thoughts and words at all times. Today, I think the African proverb he might have chosen would be, "When the pupil is ready to learn, the teacher will appear." He demonstrated this proverb in his passion for human and social causes while actively pursuing the establishments of programs and resources to benefit communities, underserved families, underserved students in the Tampa Bay area. As a result of his untiring efforts, African Americans and other minorities have succeeded in earning bachelor and doctorate degrees. Both minority and women university faculty have achieved advanced professional ranks and tenure, and thousands of young people have been inducted into the Magnite Achievers Society throughout the state of Florida, with the emphasis on academic achievement and cultural enrichment. Tampa Bay experienced the aesthetic impact of the classic African American Art Museum, and the entire community was lifted up by his challenging leadership on several local, national, and international boards, and especially being the first Black chairman of the Greater Tampa Chamber of Commerce. Yes, Ike walked the talk, known for his keenness of intellect, champion of African American history and scholarship, charismatic personality, tireless energy, and commitment and serving and institutional building, but also his ability to inspire others. Yes, he has made his transition, but we know that our greatest appreciation of his life and the good he did for others will not be forgotten. I think he would like to be remembered by a legacy of giving, and that's why this endowed scholarship is such a tremendous honor. Knowing him with that infectious smile, I think he would still be saying, "Just do your best, not for yourself, but for someone else."
Dr. Tribble's life was a testament of self-sacrifice and concern for the well-being of others. The African American Advisory Committee is proud to support Dr. Tribble's principle of giving by contributing to this endowed scholarship. We see this opportunity as an honor and the highest recognition of his lasting legacy. It is now our pleasure to present our 2021-2022 scholarship recipients.
Thank you again from the Simmons Tribble family for honoring our beloved Ike. And remember, when the pupil is ready, the teacher will appear.
And a big congratulations to the Dr. Israel Ike Tribble Jr. scholarship recipients. Great work on all that you've been able to do. Now, please join me in welcoming Miss Ruth Duncan Bell and Mr. Jerry Bell. They're the creators of Ruth and Jerry Bell Endowed Scholarship Fund and the co-founders of the USF Black Leadership Network.
Good evening. On behalf of our family, we're delighted to be here to celebrate all of the well-deserving scholarship recipients. When we decided to create our scholarship, we had a desire to help promising Black students who needed financial support to succeed in college. As students at Arizona State, Jerry and I noticed that many of our friends were forced to drop out due to a lack of financial support.
When we got married, we knew that at some point we'd give back to our community. Our desire was to ensure that no student would ever have to abandon their dream of a college education due to finances. We are so proud to be here today to recognize these students who truly are the future.
And now it's our pleasure to present our 2020-2021 scholarship recipients. Congratulations and much success in your college journey.
Congratulations, Bell Scholars. And now to present the USF Black Faculty Staff Association's Endowed Scholarship, please welcome Christopher Newsom, President of the Black Faculty Staff Association, and they're also awarding the Black Faculty and Staff Award winners.
Good evening. I am honored to serve as the President of the Black Faculty and Staff Association. BFSA was founded in 1972 and helps foster an environment of mutual support and respect for Black faculty, staff, and students at USF. Today, the Black Faculty and Staff Association continues to foster its commitment to faculty, staff, and students of USF and the surrounding communities through advocacy, outreach, and active membership. In an effort to continue an empowering legacy, the USF BFSA established a scholarship for underserved and underrepresented continuing USF undergraduate and graduate level students who are active in and whose career plans will have positive impact in the Black community. Since 2011, this scholarship has assisted more than 17 undergraduate and graduate students in accomplishing their academic and professional goals. And now, it is our pleasure to present our 2020-2021 scholarship recipients. Congratulations to all of you. We would also like to take this moment to acknowledge the Black Faculty and Staff Association's Outstanding Black Faculty Member of the Year and Outstanding Black Staff Member of the Year. Dr. Kyanne Connor is a licensed clinical social worker and assistant professor of mental health law and policy at the University of South Florida. She is an affiliate at the USF Louis de la Parte Florida Mental Health Institute and the USF Institute on Black Life. Dr. Connor received her BS in psychology and BA in Africana Studies from the University of Pittsburgh. She has a master's degree in social work focused in public health with a specialization in minority health and health disparities. She has a PhD in social work and postdoctoral training in clinical geriatric psychiatry. Dr. Connor's research investigates the factors that influence disparities in health service utilization and treatment outcomes for racial and ethnic minorities. The goal of her research is to facilitate the successful engagement and retention of older adults and racial and ethnic minorities in psychosocial treatments for behavioral health disorders that can be successfully implemented and sustained in community-based settings. It is my honor to present the 2020-2021 BFSA Outstanding Black Faculty Member of the Year, Dr. Kyanne Connor. Dr. Devonna F. Pierre formerly served in the Office of Diversity, Inclusion, and Equal Opportunity at USF. and focused on faculty diversity initiatives and affirmative action. Her work has been geared towards the implementation of programs that seek to provide parity to marginalized populations within higher education. In her role, Dr. Pierre focused on aspects of diversity and inclusion that impacted and promoted faculty and staff recruitment, development, retention, and promotion across all USF campuses. Dr. Pierre has spearheaded several diversity initiatives, including the creation of the Diversity Lecture Series and the Research Bootcamp. The RBC is an intensive one-week program designed to support the development of advanced women graduate students' dissertation, research, and to assist women junior faculty in the development of research agenda and preparation of manuscripts for submission to peer-reviewed journals. Recently, in collaboration with the individuals within USF and other universities in the state of Florida, Dr. Pierre secured a National Science Foundation grant totaling over $2.4 million to improve minority women's success in STEM faculty careers. Dr. Pierre currently serves as the Director of Diversity, Inclusion, and Equity at St. Petersburg College. She is a proud alumni of Dillard University in New Orleans, Louisiana, and Auburn University in Alabama. It is my honor, privilege, and with much gratitude, I would like to present the 2020-2021 BFSA Outstanding Black Staff Member of the Year Award to Dr. Devonna F. Pierre.
Wow, amazing work. Congratulations to all the BFSA scholarship recipients and the faculty and staff award winners as well. So I now have the distinct pleasure and the privilege of welcoming our keynote speaker for tonight, Jewel Burke-Solomon. Jewel is a very busy person. Jewel's the head of the Google for Startups in the U.S. Now, in this role, she actually works to level the playing field for underrepresented startups, founders, and communities by connecting all of them with the best that Google has to offer, all of their products, their people, and their platforms. In addition to this role, Jewel also serves as managing partner of Collab Capital. That's an alternative investment fund that she launched to close the funding gap for Black entrepreneurs. Jewel's work and mission is about creating more access to the technology innovation ecosystem. Now, before leading Google for Startups and Collab Capital, Jewel was actually the founder and CEO of PartPick. That's a startup that was acquired by Amazon a few years ago in 2016, which streamlined the purchase of maintenance and repair parts using computer vision technology. Jewel was named as one of Forbes 30 Under 30 in 2016, one of Ebony Magazine's Power 100 in 2018, one of Atlanta's 100 most influential people just last year in 2020. She serves on the boards of Reimagine Atlanta, which is a nonprofit that trains, equips, and inspires Generation Z to build careers in the creative and digital media industries. And 12 Days of Christmas, Inc., which is a volunteer service organization that's committed to helping the spirit of the holidays stay alive for those who are less fortunate. She is a member of the 2019 class of Henry Crown Fellows within the Aspen Global Leadership Network at the Aspen Institute. Super busy, as you can clearly see. Jewel received a bachelor's degree in business administration with a concentration in marketing from Howard University and currently lives in Atlanta, Georgia. So everyone, please welcome tonight's speaker, Jewel Burke-Solomon.
Greetings, my name is Jewel Burke-Solomon, and thank you so much for allowing me to serve as the keynote speaker for this event. My journey to becoming an entrepreneur begins when I was a young child watching my parents in business. I had the opportunity from a very young age to watch both my mom and my dad building businesses, my dad running businesses that my grandfather had started in Mobile, Alabama. And so from a very young age, I was working in the businesses. My earliest memories were being the cashier at one of our service stations and loading up the refrigerators with drinks and really just trying to be helpful around the businesses. But that early experience planted this seed that one day I too could become an entrepreneur. And I'm always just so grateful that I had that familial experience and exposure really early in my life. And honestly, I didn't really know much else besides entrepreneurship. So when I was going to college at Howard University, I always anticipated that I would start a business one day. And so I majored in business at Howard. And then I thought the right thing to do was for me to get some corporate experience first. So I ended up working for a few years at Google and then at a company called McMaster-Carr. And that's when I had my first sort of light bulb moment around building a business from scratch. I had started some kind of small businesses, I guess you could say, when I was in high school and college. But my first real venture was a company that I started in 2012 called PartPick, where we created technology to recognize replacement parts. So my reason for starting that business was seeing that there was a need and really feeling like I was the best person in the world because many people hadn't had the experience of working at a company like Google and knowing that technology can solve big problems, and then going to work at a company like McMaster-Carr, which from a technology perspective was on the other side of the spectrum, very low tech, and working in the industrial parts space. So that sort of intersection of experiences was probably, not something that most people have had the opportunity to have. But what it gave me was a unique insight that allowed me to kind of have this light bulb moment and have an idea and have something that I thought was worth pursuing. So that is how I entered into entrepreneurship, and I have not looked back ever since. There have been a lot of influences and motivations that have been instrumental in my personal development. I would say, firstly, the influence of my family. I talked about, my family giving me early exposure to entrepreneurship. But I would say further, my mom, and watching her build her business from nothing, really struggle, honestly, at her start when she was just in her 20s getting started in her business, and watching the level of sacrifice that she was willing to put in. And that instilled in me a lot of really valuable lessons that I later would have to call on when I was starting my own business. And the ability that I had to reach out to her. She's my mom, but she was also really kind of my coach when I was starting my business. And so that's been huge and influential for me. From a motivational perspective, I think being the oldest of my siblings has been a huge motivation for me. I have 4 younger brothers, and there's a big age gap between me and my next brother. And so I've always taken it as a responsibility to really be that role model for them, to make sure that they know, when they're in school, that they have to care for their grades, and when they are thinking about their career journeys, making sure that they are getting internships and really focused on their path. And I think it's so important now, given the world that we live in, when we're talking right now, my mind is occupied thinking about little Black boys in the country and how it's dangerous for them. And so I'm always considering my little brothers and how can I make sure that they have all the opportunities possible for them to be successful. And so that's a huge motivating factor in everything that I'm doing, and why I think I work as hard as I do to make sure that they have what they need. And my future family is in a good place. And so I think a lot about that as a kind of motivating factor for the work that I do today. My experience as a Black woman in America has had an indelible impact on my experiences as a person in my profession. I'm a person just moving throughout the world. I think that the facts of my identity, my Blackness, my womanhood, my age at this point has really impacted every aspect of everything that I've ever done. And it's interesting because these are things that I obviously can't control, but of course they impact the ways in which people view me and the expectations they have of me, and their thoughts about what I can achieve. So the biggest lesson I've learned is that all of those realities cannot dissuade me from what it is that I've been placed on this earth to do. And oftentimes, the facts of my identity are actually benefits to the pursuits that I have. And so I try to remain positive and think about the fact that my Blackness, my womanhood, my location, my Southern drawl, all of these things give me a special point of view and advantage in the world that I'm seeking to live in and to be successful in. And I don't try to get too hung up on the statistics that are out there and the naysayers and the facts that oftentimes I am one of very few or the only in certain rooms that I enter. I really do try to maintain the posture of I'm supposed to be here, I'm purposed to be here, and again, I'm bringing something unique to the table, and really look at the strengths that I have, a lot of them due to my experiences as a Black woman in America. So that's the posture and the mindset that I try to maintain. But the reality is, it is tough. It's hard to be in a situation where you're leading a team of people and you want to make sure that there is attention paid and care paid to the realities of America today. It's difficult when you're always sort of in a fight for resources to communities that you think need them. I've always been trying to use the positions that I have to move resources in ways in which I think makes sense for the organizations that I represent or that I'm working in. A great example of that is last year, in the light of COVID-19 and also in response to the persistent incidences of racial injustice, I prepared a proposal to help Google do the right thing in this moment and get resources to Black-owned businesses across the country. And, that proposal initially was not met with the open arms that I would have expected. But of course, through persistence and really making the case, I was able to secure, millions of dollars to make cash awards to Black-owned businesses across the country. And I was really excited to be able to do that. But it's kind of that always perpetual fight and standing in what I know based on my experience and based on the things that I see every single day, and leveraging that experience to do work that can be beneficial to my community. Philanthropy plays such an important role in my personal mission because I truly believe that to whom much is given, much is required. And I have been greatly blessed in my life, and just a young life, 31 years on this earth. I've received so much. And so I do believe that it's my responsibility to give back in whatever ways I can. In some ways, and sometimes that means monetarily giving back, and a lot of times it means with my time giving back. And more recently, it's meant me taking up board positions where I can help other philanthropists make good decisions about where they are giving their resources. So that to me is very much in line with what I'm, again, destined to do and what I should be doing. And again, it's another example of where I can bring my lived experiences to the table to help people, particularly folks today who are really thinking more deeply about racial equity and the systems that need to be adjusted, changed, broken down to really make the world that we live in a more equitable world for everyone. And, there is a need for people who have perspective from the communities that are really mostly disenfranchised and disadvantaged there's a need for our voices at the table. So I think the philanthropist in me is excited about continuing to be able to do great work and also continuing to be able to guide the work of others and really step up and be a leader in this space. My hope for the younger generation coming after me is that they recognize the moment that we are in and seize the opportunity to make a real change for themselves and for their children and for their children's children. I think about all of the huge societal issues that we're facing today, and this real crossroads that we find ourselves at, where we're talking about, civil rights movement of our time. We're talking about climate change in a way that we haven't in the past. We're talking about real issues that will impact the current generation and the generations to come. And I think young people have such a unique opportunity today, even in a way that I didn't have when I was in college, to really leverage information, leverage social media, become creators of content, and do these things in a way that is in service of the greater good. And I'm really hopeful, and I see it already, the younger generation taking advantage and really speaking truth to power, and making it be known that we're not going to stand for things in the ways that they've always been, but we are really going to fight for a change and a better tomorrow. So I am hoping that the young generation takes up that challenge and is fearless in the pursuit of a more equitable future. Thank you so much for allowing me to share a bit of my experiences. And I just want to say congratulations to all of the award recipients and scholarship recipients on a job well done.
Jewel, thank you so much for those inspiring words. And on behalf of our great university and our wonderful city, please accept our appreciation for your time and encouragement. Up next, we're going to have our final two awards, the Joyce Russell Community Leadership Kinty Award and the Joyce Russell Alumni Kinty Award. The Kinty Award is created in 2000 by the USF African American Advisory Committee to strengthen the relationship between the university and the African American community. This award recognizes USF faculty, employees, alumni, and community members whose contributions have had a positive impact in the African American community. So this year's recipients exemplify the true essence of dedication to promote the African American community. First up, Justice Peggy A. Quince. Justice Quince is the second African American and the third woman to serve as Chief Justice for the state of Florida. She was a justice for the courts from 1999 to 2019 and was the first African American woman to sit on the state's highest court and just the third female to do that. From 1993 to 1997, she served as the judge on Florida's 2nd District Court of Appeals. And on July 1st in 2008, Justice Quince assumed the office of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Florida for 2 years, the first African-American woman to head any branch of Florida government. Quince is the only Supreme Court justice in the state of Florida's history to be appointed simultaneously by more than one governor. Born in Norfolk, Virginia, Justice Quince graduated in 1970 from Howard University. She has a BS degree in zoology. She earned her JD degree from the Catholic University of America in 1975. Now, while a law student, she was actually active in Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity and the Black American Law Students Association. She moved here to the state of Florida in 1978 and then opened a law office in Bradenton, where she practiced general civil law until 1980. And then in February of that year, Justice Quince began her tenure with the Attorney General's Office, the Criminal Division. And in that role, she was an assistant attorney general, and she handled a lot of appeals, numerous appeals in the 2nd District Court of Appeal, the Florida Supreme Court, including death penalty cases, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the United States Supreme Court. Her 13.5-year tenure at that office included 5 years as the Tampa Bureau Chief. Now, in addition to all of that, if that wasn't enough, 3 years were spent handling death penalty cases exclusively on direct appeal and in post-conviction proceedings. Justice Quince is a member of the Florida Bar Association, the Virginia Bar Association, the National Bar Association, the Tallahassee Women Lawyers, and the William H. Stafford Inn of Court. She is an active member of the Government Lawyers section and the Criminal Law section of the Florida Bar. She is also a former member of the George Edgecombe Bar Association and the Hillsborough County Bar Association, the Hillsborough Association of Women Lawyers, and the Tampa Bay Inn of Court. Justice Quince's former Florida Bar activities include membership on the Gender Equality Committee, the Criminal Law Certification Committee, and the executive councils of the Government Lawyers and Criminal Law section. She has lectured at a number of continuing legal education programs on issues that involve search and seizure, probation and parole, use of preemptory challenges, post-conviction relief, professionalism and ethics, and the independence of the judiciary. Justice Quince is a member of New Hope Missionary Baptist Church. Her civic and community activities include membership in Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, and the Urban League, as well as the NAACP and the Links Incorporated. Everyone, please join me in welcoming to the stage the 2021 Kenty Community Leader Award recipient, Justice Peggy Quince.
Thank you, Mr. Carter, for that wonderful introduction. It is an honor and a pleasure to be with the University of South Florida family and friends for this program. I want to thank the University of South Florida community for this Kente Award. I know many of the prior recipients, and I know the kind of contributions that they have made to both the university and the communities that surround the university. Such recipients as Attorney Delano Stewart, who grew up in this community and has given back in so many ways. Others like Dr. Samuel Wright, Attorney Carolyn House Stewart, Dr. Paulette Walker, and Will Packard. All of them have given their time, talent, and treasure to make Tampa Bay, and indeed these United States, a more perfect union. I sincerely hope that I have in some way helped someone along the way, because like these prior awardees, I truly believe to whom much is given, much is required. I have been blessed in my life. I could never have imagined that a little girl from Chesapeake, Virginia, would one day find herself a justice on the Florida Supreme Court. But what struck me about finding myself in that position was that I could not have done it on my own. My communities, my villages, helped me to achieve that position. But it was not just support for the Supreme Court seat. I have had support of the community throughout my career. Over the years, I have attempted to give back to the communities the same kind of support that I have received through organizations like Jack and Jill, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, the Hillsborough County Association of Women Lawyers, the Hillsborough County Bar Association, the George Edgecombe Bar Association, my church. I have had numerous opportunities to give to those in our community, including our student population in this city. Now, my friends, there's still more work to do. There is work that involves this university and the rest of our communities. If you believe in democracy or the promise of democracy, there is work to do to make sure that this country continues to try to live up to the principles of equality and justice. Our community and our country are in the midst of a test to determine what we truly believe and what we're going to do to keep our democracy safe. There are many issues facing us, but particularly we must address systemic racism, police brutality, and voter suppression. The resolution of these issues hinge on having people in our city, county, state, and national governments who believe that we must address these issues now and make meaningful changes. In order to get the kind of leaders, all of us must exercise our constitutional right to vote. This is not a time to sit at home. And in order to vote, we must make sure that efforts to suppress the vote are not successful. You know, voting has not always been universal in this country. We began with voting for white men with property only. Then we moved on to all white men. Then we included black men. Then women. Women only got the opportunity to vote a mere 100 years ago. With this history in mind, one would think that we would be going to the polls in much greater numbers than the statistics demonstrate. Over the years, we have not voted in the numbers I had expected, only in the 60th percentile in presidential elections, and lower at other times. We saw an increase in these numbers during the 2020 election. And what was the consequence of people coming out to exercise this basic, important right? We are now seeing here in the state of Florida and around the country a number of proposed bills in our various legislatures to make it more difficult to vote. Time does not allow me to discuss all of these bills concerning voting, but they're bills involving vote by mail, voting sites, and other voting issues. I urge you to go online and look for yourself for a proposed 2021 legislation concerning voting in Florida. And in Florida, in 2020, Florida was one of the first states to report election results. I believe that it was a result of the system that has been fine-tuned over the last 20 years. That is, after the 2000 election. So why now tinker with success? I have my thoughts on this issue, but I want each of you to look at what is going on. Evaluate it for yourself and contact your legislators if you believe, as I do, that some of these bills are a solution looking for a problem. I believe in the principles of democracy, even though this country has not lived up to the promise of democracy. There is a part that all of us can now play, both the university and those of us in the wider Tampa Bay communities, to make this country, make our world a better place for all of us, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender. Let's continue to work together to make our home a model for the world. Again, I thank you for this award, and I look forward to working together for a better future for all of us. Thank you.
Congratulations, Justice Quince, absolutely well-deserved. Our next recipient was also a cultural trailblazer. Vincent Jackson was primarily known for his prowess on the football field. However, his His accomplishments and his influence extended far beyond the gridiron. The son of two military parents, Vincent was reared with an emphasis on structure and discipline. An excellent student, his academic performance actually earned him acceptance into Columbia University, but he chose to attend the University of Northern Colorado on an athletic scholarship where he played both football and basketball during his 4 years on campus. He achieved All-American honors and became the university's all-time leading receiver. Vincent majored in business in an effort to prepare for his post-football career. Vincent would go on to play 12 seasons in the NFL with both teams in both San Diego and, of course, right here with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was also selected to the Pro Bowl 3 times and exceeded 1,000 receiving yards 6 times during his career. He used the offseason, though, to cultivate his personal interests by investing in a variety of businesses in the hospitality arena, apparel, real estate, and fitness realms as well. Viewing Magic Johnson and Roger Staubach as his models of athletes who are successful entrepreneurs, Vincent worked very hard to diversify his business portfolio. In 2013, he attended an elite business program for the select group of NFL players at the Wharton School of Business. He would then go on to graduate from the University of South Florida Muma College of Business in 2016 with a degree in business management. Feeling a strong commitment to serve the community in which he lived, Vincent launched the Jackson in Action 83 Foundation in November of 2012. That foundation's mission was to provide support to military families, focusing on the educational, the emotional, and physical health of children. So this mission was especially close to Vincent's heart because he knew what it was like growing up in a military family. Vincent's desire was to parlay his success in football into an organization that can help military parents maintain close relationships with their children, regardless of the physical distance that may actually separate them. I know you join me when we all say that we were absolutely saddened by the news of Vincent's passing in February of this year. Now, while we were honored to celebrate the legacy of his life with this award, our hearts and our thoughts and our prayers certainly go out to his family, friends, and the community. Everyone, please join me in honoring the 2021 Kinsey Alumni Award recipient posthumously, Mr. Vincent Jackson.
Good evening. My name is Terrence Jackson. Vincent was extremely proud to be a USF graduate. He had long desired to complete his degree in business and continued that process during the off season while playing football. He found USF very welcoming and accommodating with his busy schedule. The legacy of the Jackson in Action 83 Foundation will always have a special place in our family's heart. We're so proud he chose military children to support with his foundation. Life as a military child is something he lived personally and had a passion for. He understood the educational, emotional, and physical effect military deployment has on children and family. He helped write 3 books based on the principles of the foundation. We plan on the foundation continuing its work in supporting military families and enhance its program and activities for years to come. Vincent will be so proud to have received this prestigious award named after the person who did so much to strengthen relationship between USF and the African American community. As the 2021 Alumni Award recipient, our family would like to thank the university and the selection committee for choosing Vincent. If Vincent was here with us today, he would probably say, "Onward and upward." One of the mottos he used for his many businesses is to stay focused on a goal. In addition to the work he did with the foundation, he also contributed to several charitable events and organizations in this community. He would want you to know how important it is to get a good education, deal with adversity as a challenge, become the best you can be at your craft, and remember, no one makes it on their own. Always be willing to give back. Thank you.
Congratulations again to our Kente Award recipients. And now, to close out our program, please welcome Melissa Brown. She's the Development Officer for Diversity Initiatives here in the USF Foundation.
Thank you, Rod, for the outstanding job you did serving as our MC. We sincerely hope you all have enjoyed the ceremony this evening. Before we conclude, I would like to thank each of you for being a difference maker. The students we celebrated today are achieving their academic dreams because of the support of our generous scholarship sponsors and you. Your contributions represent a commitment to the future of our community. Please continue to pledge your support to these students. Visit usf.to/Kente or scan the QR code on your screen and make a donation to the scholarships you've heard about this evening. No gift is too small, and every amount generated will make a tremendous difference in the life of a student. Thank you all again for attending the 2021 Joyce Russell Kente Awards and Scholarship Ceremony. We appreciate you taking the time to join us in honoring our recipients and celebrating the great work they are doing for our community here in Tampa Bay and beyond. We look forward to seeing you all again at next year's event. Have a great night.